Hello, everyone. Anyone? Uh, it's good to be back. Unfortunately, I this has not been going as planned today. I am not actually fully sure what's happening, but my guest today was supposed to be Aedan Andrejus Burt from Fib Whisky, but I have not been able to get a hold of him today, and I hope everything's okay. But I'm not sure what happened. So as of right now, this is all you have. It's me solo. But I still wanted to come here because I know last week we had to cancel this because I had a little bit of some technical issues where I had a bit of a leak actually from above that was threatening all of my equipment. Thankfully, my computer wasn't where the leak happened at the time. It was with me. But it was a pretty inauspicious return so far. But that being said, where a lot of you may know, I just was lucky enough to be doing a tour. It was a pretty whirlwind trip for 10 days. We were at the Victoria Whiskey Festival, which was amazing. Then I went from there to DC, and I'll come back and talk about that in a moment. Then I was in DC for 2 days, and then we went to Montreal, did an incredible event in Montreal that was completely sold out despite a huge snowstorm, which I guess Montrealers don't even miss a beat at. And then we went to Toronto and did 4 events in Toronto. And that was my first ever time visiting Toronto. So that was also just for me, as a lifelong hockey fan, that was exciting as well. Sort of the epicenter of hockey, and I got to go to a Leafs game. But the DC side trip in there was we did an event with the local PBS station and with Walker's Shortbread and with Bruichladdich Distillery at the British Embassy in Washington, D.C., which was absolutely amazing. It was, I gave a couple of comments at the beginning of it, and I said something I'll repeat here, which is that the teenager that I was who moved to Glasgow as a 19-year-old to become an exchange student would have been absolutely flabbergasted for me to wind up in the British Embassy in Washington, D.C. showing a movie that is, let's face it, as much a love letter to Scotland as it is to whiskey. So it was a huge honor for us. Our whole team was there. I did wear a tartan bow tie. I did not wear a kilt. I've been asked that question a lot, and I don't own a kilt. So, but maybe I'll cross that bridge soon. We shall see. But I also, the other thing, it looks like that might lead to some other events as well. So we're continuing to do some cool theatrical events where, a lot of people have heard me say one of the big challenges of doing a film about food, a film about a drink, is that the sense that is based on, which is taste, isn't one that cinema can convey. But one of the things that we've really had a lot of success doing, and it's a lot of fun, is doing tasting kits and doing interactive tastings where we put cues up on the movie that pop up with the time you're supposed to try this whiskey or that whiskey. And that's been a huge success, and it's been amazing. It's really cool being in a theater where 200, 300 people open a dram of peated whiskey at the same time, and it's sort of the smell wafts over you. The entire theater all of a sudden smells like Isla, and it was amazing. It's cool. I see a number of people, Ness and others, saying hello, and it's so good to be back here doing this. And I'm really sorry that I don't know. Like I said at the beginning of this, I don't know what has happened with Aedan. I haven't heard from him. We've been super responsive to each other because I had to postpone last week, and then now all of a sudden I can't find him. So I hope everything's okay, but I'm just kind of winging it today. And further, I took February off for dry February. So I'm not even sharing a dram right now. I'm drinking seltzer, hopped seltzer, but seltzer nonetheless. But so the other thing, though, that I really want to talk about is that I've been working with our producer, Alphonse, and I have been kind of working together on this. And what we want to do is, instead of just doing this week to week, I'm actually going to plan out a season schedule and kind of commit to people, let people know ahead of time when I'm going to be, who I'm going to be talking to, and about what. And I got to tell you, some of you might know the YouTuber, Jim Ingram, the Whiskey Novice in Belfast. He's going to be a guest of ours a week from today. A week after that, I'm going to have Rascal and Thorn on, which is Charles Grabitsky and John Sconzo, who Rascal and Thorn is a sort of gastronomic travel experience company. And we are doing a whiskey tour of Isla and Glasgow with them based on the film, which I'll be on. So we're going to come talk about that. Peter Pulkert from the Whiskey game, the Whiskey board game. You guys may have seen. I posted stuff about it. It's a trivia game and it's an experiential game that's all about whiskey in Scotland and Ireland, and it's really pretty cool. And I was lucky enough to get to play the prototype before it got finished, and I think you'll dig it. And I won the prototype game. I'd like to point out I beat Brad, our cinematographer, on a final question, which was about Glendalough Distillery in Ireland. Then actually one of the things that we're going to do in a couple of weeks too is Guy Satchwell from our own team, was, one of the team members of our film, and it's the sound mixer on the original film, but he and I are kind of co-directing the film about independent bottling that we're working on, and we're kind of starting the post-production in earnest on that now. As the pandemic has eased up, we've been able to do some more final interviews that we want to do and kind of wrap that up a bit. We're still going to keep chasing some other ones around, but we're hoping to get that film turned around. I've been very eager to get that film made and finished, but it's just been slowed by the success of the first film, which is a great problem to have, and then also the pandemic. So, but Guy's going to come on and we're going to chat about that. That's going to be on March 10th. March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. I don't have a guest yet, but I promise you that. And I'll announce that when I do. And then on March 24th, my friend Andrew Moldenauer from the Beverage Testing Institute in Chicago is going to be on. And we're going to talk about that, what they do, this sort of science side of whiskey and on the industry side of things. So I'm personally really looking forward to all of them, but that's one it's a whole new territory for me. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Then after March 24th, we're going to take a couple weeks off because I'm going to be in Germany shooting on another project, which I'll talk about more later, but it's about beer. And then after that, we'll get by and we'll start, doing some interviews again, probably in May. I'll be in Germany for a while, so we're going to take a couple weeks off of that. So I'm going to post this online, and I will. So you won't have to guess all the time. I'll post it and probably get pretty annoying about it, if I'm honest. We'll see. Again, February 17th, Jim Ingram, Whiskey Novice. 24th, Rascal and Thorn. March 3rd, Peter Pulkert. March 10th, Guy Satchwell, our very own Guy Satchwell. March 17th, TBD, and March 24th, Andrew Moldenauer. So I'm trying to share that right now, and I'm discovering that let's see here. No, that's not going to work. It would seem as if some of the features of StreamYard have changed since I've done this last. In any case, the last thing anyone wants to watch me do is sit here and scramble around looking for images. Let me see if I can do this. But if anyone has any questions, put them in the chat right now, because I would love to answer any questions I possibly can. And, we'll also, if anyone has any, I'm not going to be able to share that right now. Oh, well, Chrome needs to be restarted in order to share, and I can't restart or I would lose all of you. So anyway, if there's no other questions and Aedan hasn't shown up yet, I'm going to say farewell. Screenings in Los Angeles coming soon. Well, Mark, I don't know at the moment, but there might be some. At the moment, I don't know that we have any planned, but I know there's a couple that we're still working on. I know there's a couple that are in the works for Boston as well, maybe a couple more in Canada. And stay tuned. We'll certainly scream that from the rooftops when we do. And there is one more thing I wanted to say, which is we now have the extended cut of the film is online, and we are able to share that with you guys. And it occurred to us that a lot of people didn't even know we had done that yet, or that it was live yet. So there you go. I'm putting that up right now. That is 10 more minutes. And it has Springbank featured in it, Paul Blair, Glenn Farkless, a couple more Berklotti scenes, 10 more minutes. only cut out because they were it was too long for PBS. Hello from Glasgow. Are you looking? Yes, I am. Absolutely. I'm with Rascal and Thorn. I'm coming to Scotland in June. That'll likely be the next time I'm in Scotland. I see someone said any screenings in Scotland when you're over in April. I will be in Germany in April. I doubt I'll be in Scotland then because I'm going to be there in June. I'm probably going to miss the festival in Islay this year because I'm going to be coming back 2 weeks later, and we're going to do the tour. And then, yes, I'm going to stay in Glasgow. I don't have any screenings currently set up there while I'm there, but that doesn't mean we might not. We did our very, very first screening was at the Bonaccord. I'm reading the Bonaccord. I've been to the Bonaccord plenty of times, and we shot part of the film in the Bonaccord. Ralphie's interview was in the Bonaccord. But I'm, the Grosvenor Theatre on Ashton Lane in Glasgow. That's where our very, very first screening ever was, and we might be able to do another thing there if we tried to set something up. If people think that would be viable, for a film that's already been shown there, I would be absolutely thrilled to do it. And we're really good relations with the screening at the Artisan. That would be interesting. Let's ask Derek. Let's ask the chef. I don't know where we would show it in there, but I'd certainly be game for it for sure. But one of the things that we did at the Grosvenor is that we did a whiskey tasting during the movie, and that was kind of cool. And that was the first time we tried that out in person. So it really worked well, and I'd be willing to do that again, followed maybe by a session at the Bonaccord. The whiskey tour with Rascal and Thorn is going to involve a visit to the Bonaccord as well as the Pot Still and maybe some other places as well. So, so look for me. And if you're in Germany, I'll be there in April, probably shooting. I'm almost certain. And in June, I'll be in Scotland. The Rascal and Thorn tour is going to be 8 days, but I'm going to likely be there for 2 weeks. So I'll be there a few days at the other end of it as well. In any case, if anyone has any other questions, throw them in now, or I will wrap this up. I'm really sorry that things didn't work out today. I will try to get Aedan back on. Like I said, I don't have someone scheduled for St. Patrick's Day yet. I was, for obvious reasons, trying to get someone in the Irish whiskey industry on, which shouldn't be too hard. I think I can get someone. But I will try to get Aedan back on because, he's an independent bottler, and we're always working on that film, and we're hoping to get him to be one of the interviews in that film as well. So I hope you guys all have a great weekend. I'm off to Cub Scouts tonight. I'm a den leader at my kids' Cub Scout pack, and this weekend's our Pinewood Derby. So I've got to go mount some wheels on my daughter's Pinewood Derby racer. That's going to be my big thing this afternoon. So take care, stay in touch, and I'll see you here next week with Jim Ingram, the Whiskey Novice, and we'll have a good time. Cheers. Thanks, everyone.